in these modern times, a place which is supposed to be a holy place becomes the most unholy place. It's such a topsy-turvy condition these days. And when we are trying to establish something very fundamental, it's like a little seedling that has to come out of the stones. It has to fight lots of things, so we have to keep our brains intact and be sensible about everything and try to see what we can achieve through our patience and understanding. It's very important. Today I think is a very great day for all of us, because this place is the place of Virat, of Shri Vithala. It's the place where Shri Vithala appeared to a devoted son, and when he asked him that you better stand on a break, he stood there. And they say that they stood there waiting. Some people say that the statues that we see came out of the Mother Earth on this sand. And that's what Pundarikaksh carried, saying that these are the ones who came to see me and my parents. I was busy with them. So they are standing on the same brick which I threw. Now the whole story has to be taken in a very sensible way with a common sense in it. That God Himself is capable of all kinds of miracles. We who are created by God are doing some things which look miraculous. Say if you take about 100-year-old situation of this world, we can say that today we are seeing many things which could be miraculous. 100 years back, nobody could have thought that they could have all these arrangements done here in such a far-fetched places. But all these miracles come from the power of God. So we are the creator of that wee bit, very wee bit of that miracle. So all the miracles of God cannot be explained and should not be explained. They are beyond our minds. And to make people feel the presence of God, God can do anything. He can move into all the 3 dimensions and also in the 4th dimension. He can do whatever He feels like. That's what you have seen now in your every day-to-day life. How many miracles take place to all of you. And you can't understand how it works out. Even it works out on things which are not living. And people are quite amazed how these things happen. So we have to believe now, after seeing all this ourselves, that He is God. And He can do anything that He feels like. And we are nothing. We are nothing. There should be no rationality about it, of understanding God's miracles. How can it be? How could it be? You can't explain. Only when you achieve that state of mind, where you believe through your experiences that God is all-powerful. It's very difficult. This concept is very difficult because we are limited people. We have limited powers. We cannot understand how God could be all powerful because we haven't got the capacity. So this God, who is our creator, who is our preserver, the one who desired that we should exist, who is our existence itself, is an all-powerful God. All-powerful. He can do whatever he likes with you. He can create another world. He can destroy this world. It's only if he has to desire. My idea of coming to Pandharpur for Shiv Puja was this, that Shiva represents the spirit. And the spirit is residing in all of you, in your hearts. The seat of Sadashiva is on top of your head, but is reflected in your heart. Now your brain is the Vithala. So to bring spirit to your brain means enlightenment of your brain. Enlightenment of your brain means the limited capacity of your brain has to become unlimited in its capacity to realize God. I will not use the word understand, but to realize God. How powerful He is, how miraculous He is, how great He is. The another is that the brain of man can create, of course, out of the dead. But when the spirit comes into brain, then you create living things, living work of Kundalini. Even the dead start behaving like living because you touch the spirit in the dead. Like the nucleus inside every atom or a molecule has the spirit of that molecule. And if you become your spirit, we can say the brain of a molecule or an atom is like the nucleus, body of the nucleus. But the one that controls the nucleus is the spirit that resides within the nucleus. So now you have got the attention or the body, the whole body of the atom, then the nucleus, and inside the nucleus is the spirit. In the same way, we have this body, the attention of the body. And then we have the nucleus is the brain. And the spirit is in the heart. So the brain is controlled through the spirit. how that around the heart there are 7 auras which can be multiplied into any number, 7 raised to power 1600, which are the ones which watch the 7 chakras raised to power 16,000, sorry. Now this spirit is watching through this aura, watching, I am again saying watching, through this aura. Can you sit down? Can you sit down? I think it would be better. There's no need to bother once you have put it up. This aura is watching the behavior of your 7 centers in your brain. Is also watching all the nerves that are working in the brain, watching again. But when you bring the spirit into your brain, then you go 2 steps ahead. Because when your Kundalini rises, she touches the Sadashiva, and Sadashiva informs the spirit. Informs in the sense reflects in the spirit. So that's the first state where the watching auras start communicating to your different chakras in the brain and integrating it. But when you bring your spirit to your brain, this is the second state. Then you really become self-realized in the full way. In the full way. Because then yourself, that is the spirit, becomes your brain. Action is very dynamic. It opens then the 5th dimension in the human being. First, when you become realized, collectively conscious, and start raising the Kundalini, you cross the 4th dimension. But when your spirit comes into your brain, then you become the 5th dimension, means you become the doer. Our brain now, for example, says, all right, lift this thing up. So you touch it with your hand, you lift it up. You are the doer. But when the brain becomes the spirit is the doer. And when spirit is the doer, then you become a complete Shiva, self-realized. In that state, if you get angry, you are not attached. You are not an attached person to anything whatsoever. If you possess anything, you are not attached. You cannot attach because spirit is detachment, complete detachment. You don't bother about any attachments whatsoever. Even for a second you are not attached. Now, I would say, to understand the detachment of spirit, we should study ourselves very well, clearly. How are we attached? We are attached, firstly, by our brain. Mostly by our brain. Because all our conditionings are in our brain, and all our ego is also in our brain. So all emotional attachments are through our brain, and all our egoistical attachments also are through our brain. That's why it is said that after realization one must try to practice the Shiva Tattva by practicing detachment. जरा मला शाल दे. जसं शिवाची फार थंड असणार सगळं. Now, how do you practice this detachment? सगळ्यांना इंग्लिश समजता आहे ना थोडं थोडं? In the practice of Sahaja Yoga, you have to rise higher. You have to improve your own instrument and not the instrument of others. This is one thing one should do. For definite. Now you just watch your attention, where is it going? Watch yourself. As soon as you start watching yourself, your attention, you will become more identified with your spirit. Because if you have to watch your attention, you have to be your spirit. Otherwise, how will you watch it? So now see, where is your attention going? First, the attachment is in all gross ways to your body. So we see Shiva, there is no attachment to his body. He sleeps anywhere. He goes to the cemeteries and he sleeps there. Because he's not attached, he can never be caught up by any booths or anything, nothing of the kind. He's detached. The detachment is to be watched and seen through your own attachments. Now, because you are realized souls, not yet, the spirit has not come into your brain, of course, but still you are realized souls. So what you can do is at least to watch your attention, you can do that. You can watch your attention very clearly by seeing where your attention is going. And then controlling your attention also you can do. Very simple. To control your attention, you have to just remove your attention from this to that. Try to change your priorities. All this has to be done now, after realization, a complete detachment. So the body demands comfort. Try to make body uncomfortable a little bit. Try. What you think it to be comfortable, try to make it little uncomfortable. That's why people went to Himalayas. See, coming to this place itself has caused us a lot of problems. But going to Himalayas, you can imagine. So after realization, they used to take their body to Himalayas. All right, go through all this. Let's see how you act. So what you call the penance side starts now. In a way, It's a penance which you can do very easily because now you are realized souls. With enjoyment, little, try to make this body. For Shiva it doesn't matter whether he is in a cemetery or in his own Kailasa or anywhere. Where is your attention is, you see. That your human attention is hopelessly bad. Very entangled nonsense it is. We did this because of this. There's an explanation. Or others have to give an explanation. No explanation is needed. To be given or to be accepted or to be asked for. No explanation. To exist without explanation is the best way. In a simple Hindi language, Jaise rakhahu taise hi rahu. Whichever way you keep me, I'll remain in that state. And I'll enjoy. Further in this poem, Kabira says, if you make me go on an elephant, means the royal conveyance, I'll go. If you make me walk, I'll walk. Jaise rakhahu taise hi rahu. So no reaction on that one. No reaction. First no explanation, no reaction.